And one of the problems that happens with hunters or carnivores or even vegans or vegetarians is people only want to look at things that support their position.
Right.
And with vegans, there's a lot of people out there that only want to look at things that support vegan positions in terms of health. And this becomes a real problem because they start using studies that are very shaky. They start adding things to documentaries that aren't necessarily true or proven, and it becomes propaganda. And it becomes propaganda both ways. I see it with this carnivore diet now. There's a lot of people that with this carnivore diet that are like, this is the only way to go. You know, just eat all meat. And I'm like, man, I don't know about all that. I don't see any blood work. I see blood work only. I talked to Sean, what is his last name? Sean, the doctor. God damn it. The fuck? He's the main carnivore guy. How can I not remember his name? What is? How is that slipping my? Sean Baker. Sean Baker. He released his blood work. It's not good.
Yeah.
His blood work's not good. His testosterone's low. There's also all sorts of issues.
And I just want to say, who are the look, let's just look at it this way. Who are the hospitals filled with that are having procedures for bypass? Who are the procedures being done for people removing their limbs for diabetes? It's not the people it's the people that are eating this toxic diet that Americans, the standard American diet, and what people have become accustomed to eating, rolling up. And even these carnivore people, let's just take that for instance. If you do all meat, sure, your body, that motherfucker might have been on a Dorito diet. We don't know what the fuck he was eating prior to that. So then you put, the body's a perfect machine. So at the beginning of when you're doing all meat, the body's becoming accustomed to that. But you know, the analogy that I use is that's like getting off heroin and getting on methadone, because the methadone, I kicked dope, but I'm on fucking meth now. Mm-hmm. Because the methadone down the road is going to take even a longer toll. And I've seen people that are doing methadone for 20, 30 years, and that's why I love the analogy, because the long-term studies of those diets do not exist right now.
No, there's no long-term studies for the carnivore diet.
But if you look at the blue zones around the planet of the people who are the most centurions and the people that live the longest, they have three things in common, okay? And there's blue zones in Japan, Costa Rica, Greece,
Iran,
United States. Well, the top five with the most, and then California, and it's the Adventists, the Seventh-day Adventists. So the three things that they have most in common with the people that live the longest: number one, they have a meditation spiritual practice. They do something every day for PMA, for positive mental attitude. Whatever their higher power is, they do that every day. Number two, they move their bodies. They're working, they work in the farm, they're exercising. Number three, they eat primarily a plant-based diet. They may have a piece of fish in Japan or whatever, or a piece of meat once in a while, but primarily the Adventist study was actually the best one, because it was all from different people with different ethnic backgrounds. And the one thing that they had in common, the Seventh-day Adventists don't eat meat. Mm-hmm. And that's my point with the whole thing. And, when it comes down to diet, is I just see what worked for me, and I try to relay that to people, and not be like my way's the only way and this and that, because people are doing other things in their way. There's raw fooders, there's all these different people, and the problem is with the false ego in the human being, everybody wants to think that the glass is full. Don't try to tell me shit. I know it all.
Here's an issue with centurions. Centurions, how do you say it?
Centurions.
Centenarians?
Centenarians.
Yeah.
I think it's centenarians, yeah. People that live to be 100 years, this is one thing we have to take into consideration. You're talking about people that lived already to be 100 years. So when they were 50 was 50 years ago, all right? We're talking about 1967. Nobody knew shit about diet back then. This is a fact.
Right.
Okay, so the people that did live that long and they were living this, it's almost an accident in some ways, or inconsequential. Like what is going on today with people's diet and how long will people live today. There's far more information in terms of like nutrition and what you should do and shouldn't do for your body. So what I'm concerned with is like what optimizes people today. I want to see blood work. I want to see like what is going on with your blood lipids. What is going on with your nutrient levels. What is going on with that. And in that case, we have just a few studies from a few people, or a few tests from a few people that have done this carnivore diet. We have some people that have done the vegan diet and have had real hard problems with that diet.
Yeah, but let me just say one thing, because to throw the word vegan on something, that does not make it a healthy diet. I know vegans that are fucking 100 pounds overweight. They eat nothing but fried tofu.
Vegan pizza.
If you say an organic, whole food, plant-based diet, that's what I roll with. Right. I don't fucking say a vegan diet could mean anything. But when you say whole food, foods in their original source, organic, no pesticides, whole food, plant-based diet, that's what I roll with. Right. So that's why I don't go around. Nutrient dense.
Mineral dense. And this is one of the things that's important with people that live a long time. One of the things that you get from a lot of plants, especially like rich green leafy plants, you get a lot of minerals.
Absolutely.
And more importantly, if these things are raised in an organic environment, you're getting soil that's not depleted. And this is a big problem with monocrops.
Did you see the article that just came out today that 40 years ago an orange was 10 times more nutritious? I think it was, I think it might have been CNN Online or something. They posted an article that said the fruits and vegetables from 40 years ago were 10 times more nutritious than the way they're being grown today, because like you said, rows and rows and rows.
It makes sense.
How do they extract the nutrients properly from the soil? It's impossible.